How about Dirty Bomb? Or you keep that in a crate in here somewhere?
I'm sorry, I do not know this term. Dirty bomb.
Boom goes the dynamite. Line number 2.
Yo. Damn, I just had my mic. So what's up, nah? Another day, man. Another fantastic, I guess, middle of the week on Wednesday. And, how you doing, by the way, bud?
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty good. Pretty rainy day today, but...
it's terrible weather. Terrible weather. I don't know if wherever you guys are, it just kind of was like a shitty kind of today in general. But I mean, let's get into this, man. I'm pretty sure everybody's already gotten around to checking out, the exclusive Disney Plus series, which is Secret Invasion, right?
Yeah, Samuel Jackson.
It's a really big, I guess it's one of the biggest ones that, it's kind of like one of the biggest ones that came out so far. Disney, I guess like Star Wars doesn't really count. You would say, I would say like in general, like as far as the Marvel goes, like we haven't had a Marvel series came out in a while, I think. Did we have anything? I don't even think like we had anything that came out this year, right?
Yeah, as far as I know of.
Right. Like
it's the first one. Yeah.
So pretty new. Personally, me, I can only speak for myself. Pretty new to I'm pretty new to the fact that I've never got into the Secret Invasions like kind of chapter. I roughly read it. I roughly read the comic book. I don't know if it was like the original Secret Invasions, back like I don't know what year the original ones came out, but I know like somewhat I already had an understanding of. I read like some of it, and there may have been like the newest ones that came out. But some of it kind of talks about the Skrulls. You know what I mean? And,
right.
I think that's what the invasion is about. Like, I think them having like some sort of dividance in their species. You know what I mean? Like, what I mean by dividance, it's like they're working for, isn't it part of S.H.I.E.L.D., right? Like, this is what S.H.I.E.L.D. is actually like the biggest spotlight on this, on this particular series, right?
Yeah, like as far as like Nick Fury, he's saying like what he works for the show. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
so this is kind of to bring S.H.I.E.L.D. into that light, because I mean S.H.I.E.L.D. is like the organization. I'm not too familiar with S.H.I.E.L.D. itself, which is a perfect opportunity to get me invested into getting more familiar with S.H.I.E.L.D. itself, Nick Fury, because I personally wasn't the biggest Nick Fury fan growing up. I honestly didn't think he was that cool. I just because everybody always gravitates to like heroes like Spider-Man or anything that can do something like extraordinary cool shit. You know what I mean? Like, you're not really used to like picking on like Black Widow or like anybody who doesn't really have powers, like Hawkeye, Daredevil. Right. Daredevil's a little different because he can actually have like that hearing because he's deaf. No, not deaf. Blind. Yeah, he's blind. But this is the first time me actually investing into Nick Fury. We've seen him in the movies a couple of times, which was interesting because I think I don't even know if he was actually in the original 2008 Iron Man. Like, I don't know if he was in there yet. I don't think so. I think he was in one of the Avengers, obviously the first one.
Yeah, I believe the first one's like you started to see.
Maybe one of the Thor movies too. I'm not sure.
Yeah, like then on you started to see him frequently, especially with the Avengers. That's like the main cast you will see him with.
So for me, I there's a lot of things going on, and going back to like the series, like there's a lot of things that are actually happening within the episode itself. I gotta be honest, CGI doesn't look the greatest. But as far as investing into the story itself, I'm also having a hard time seeing like exactly what time period is this actually piggybacking off of. Whether that's Endgame, this kind of feels like it's Endgame, right? Like I don't know what else could it really be like he can be zapping back in from, you know what I mean? Because
it seems to be, it's like coming from from the information they sprinkled throughout this episode of after he got, snapped away from Thanos and he came back, it seems to be picking up from then. I'm not sure like how many years from that time, but it seems from like that point on, from what they showed so far, being, snapped away. And also like too in the beginning they mentioned that Nick Fury, he made a deal with the Skrulls that he was promising a planet for them to host, but since I guess the deal didn't go through, the Skrulls are trying to take over Earth now, so that's like the whole deal. What they was talking about in the beginning too.
Right.
That was the whole deal with those guys that was investigating in the beginning, and they was
right, because I was confused about like what was the information that they were, because I think that's what gravitates us, as the audience. How is this whole series going to be starting off? Because I think that's the information which they didn't really. I don't think they explained it too much yet, right? Obviously, they want you to be invested into the series, so there's something definitely big happening. Especially that he was one of them were explaining to Nick Fury that their species could actually be wiped, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, because there's like taking over different countries of Earth, and pretty much being terrorists around different countries or whatnot. And I guess they've been trying to keep up a case on them for a while now, and they're really trying to hone in where the Skrulls are like being, like that underground organization that we see later on,
right?
This episode, but yeah, it seems like it's like that's like the whole investigation that's around the Skrulls trying to find their source of what to stop their terrorism, whatever.
Yeah, it's interesting. And then overall, I mean, I was excited to see Emilia Clarke on there too. I was like, Daenerys from Game of Thrones in a Marvel shit, like in Marvel series, like
Get the fuck out of here.
for me, I was already blown. I was like, okay, she does great work. I mean, it's interesting the character that she's playing, right? Like, I'm not really familiar with like the particular names of the Skrulls. I know Skrull himself, and I think if I'm not mistaken, he originally was a Fantastic Four villain. So I'm not entirely sure, they end up having to have like a whole species themselves. But I think if you read more of the comic books, you will probably have a better understanding. So that's what I mean. Like, at least like for this series coming out, I think more people would probably be prone to go and invest into those comic books now and actually get a little more, if you want to dig deeper into the stories and have a better understanding. Because from a consumer's perspective of, people who don't really take time to read the comic books, they want to just watch, series in general because it's a lot easier.
Right. You said the actor you just mentioned was Emilia Clarke?
Emilia Clarke, yeah.
Oh, okay. Her character's name is in the Secret Vision is Gal.
And then her brother, which is I'm terrible with names. Remember, we always said we were terrible names.
Oh yeah, her brother, which
but like they had that never happened. You know what I mean? Like when did this all happen?
Oh right, yeah. I don't see. I'm not too familiar with those characters.
Right, that's what I mean. So this is a whole new chapter. From what my biggest opinion on this start of the episode, I am invested. I think this gives me an opportunity to learn more about SHIELD itself, Agents of SHIELD. Even if it's still standing, I don't know if it is, because I think a lot of things has changed, and that's kind of what they were hinting majority of this episode, that a lot has changed with him being gone for as long as it has, like a lot of people been since, I'm guessing, Endgame, if I'm not mistaken. Right. If we're going based off that arc, I'm not sure, because again, a lot of Marvel movies have came out and we started to go into the next phase. Not really, I'm just going to put that out there, not really a huge fan of the next phase, but we'll leave that for a separate episode, because I think that's, I want to dig deeper into that. But I think it might actually go well for a big lead up into my my opinion on like how this is gonna go. But
Yeah.
overall, episode rating for me might be so early to talk about it, but like I gave it a 7. You
Okay.
know?
Yeah. I say, yeah, I give it about like a 6. You know, right in the middle. I'm still waiting to see what things will unravel to see if
Right.
it's like
That's what I'm
going
saying.
in-
I'm a little more like I need a little more to work with too.
right. Yeah. But with Gail, it seems like it's another like a sub story is going on with her, that character itself. Like she seems to be like they said she was working with the killer of her mother at some point, and her brother just told her that, and she didn't even know at the time when she was working with the guy that
Yeah.
killed the mom. So I found that interesting. I'm like, damn. So
Well, and it's actually really curious. Like I'm really curious because like I wonder what made them prone to work against, you know, I guess humanity. I guess you would say. Like I don't understand what would be the purpose of them, you know, whatever they're trying to do. Like if it's world domination, I never, that's what I'm saying. Like I've never really figured out what was the angle with the scrolls. Like I think they just are, you know, do they think the dominant species when it comes to, you know, their species? Like, I don't know. That's what I mean. Like,
they try to conquer planets from when they was working with Nick Fury at the time, because he had some kind of plan to, you know, exchange different planets with them. But I guess that plan didn't fall through, and now they're
Right.
trying to take over Earth. Which, I guess.
right.
Yeah, like you said, I guess they just conquerors of planets. You know, that's what like their main goal.
So, and her brother is actually on the other side of the fence, basically saying you're on the wrong side.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's interesting. I'm kind of hoping to see like it will be able to see Gale, you know, come to her senses and actually realize that she's been played the entire time. You know what I mean? Like that's I do like the fact that they get to actually, you know, absorb their minds. Like their species is very interesting, man. Like it's like you know, I know they from the original Skull, again, like the one who's like a villain. I know he absorbs powers. I know like he has like an ice power, rock power, or some shit like that. Like he has like they actually absorb powers, but I didn't know they can actually absorb memories too. That shit's crazy.
Oh yeah, that's. I wonder if that has something to do with the Fantastic Four. Like you said, like the way how they got their powers from that laboratory when they was experimenting with all those different chemicals and
Possibly.
you know, because they, you know, all four of them are made up of different elements. You know, like the Human Torch and you know the Thing made of rocks. So I wonder if it has something to do with that.
Or could we possibly get a reset on the Fantastic Four itself?
Yo, man, you know,
Could you imagine? You know what I mean? Like, I just
we do know we're about to get another Mr. Fantastic because we seen him in Doctor Strange recently in the last movie.
I know who I forgot his name. Oh, John Krasinski. Yeah. It was weird seeing him as Mr. Fantastic, but interesting. But I don't know if he's coming back as like I think the character might be reset, but I don't think he will be coming back. That's from what I've heard. But
okay.
Yeah.
I know he's supposed to be part of this next phase from the lineup they showed recently of the Marvel movies. Fantastic. They're supposed to be making another Fantastic Four.
Yeah, whatever. All I gotta say is I know this series just started, but like whatever it is, towards the season finale, it better be like a good lead up. That's all I gotta say. Because and this is a new take that like we've never actually gotten one of these you know, miniseries besides WandaVision was kind of like the only one that was different. Loki was cool too, which is another good one of my personal favorites. But Secret Invasion was like this is a whole new kind of, it's like an IP in a way. It's like completely new, you know, for Marvel itself to be, you know, on television. Like that's fucking crazy. I didn't think like the series itself was going to be that big enough to where it was going to get its own, you know, its own series. It has its own arc already as it is. That's probably why they wanted to use it. And somehow embed it into the next phase, into the movies. But I'm
you said, it has something to do with the Shield organization. So that's
right.
a big part with the Avengers itself. So they're probably trying to bring that into the movies.
But what else? It was a shame that the girl got shot at the end, though.
Oh yeah, she was working side with Nick Fury
For a long time, right? Wasn't she? She was a part of the original Shield, maybe. I think. I don't know.
I believe so. Yeah, she's definitely important to trying to investigate this whole thing going on with the scrolls and everything. But it seemed like, as we know, they shapeshift. So at the end, one of them shapeshift into, Samuel L. character, Nick Fury, and he tricked her into thinking he was him, but it was actually the other character that's I believe that guy is working with Gal. I think he's part of her team, but it's like that guy, I forget his name, but
the one that was talking to her, right?
Right, like she was like having her last words, and this guy Gravik. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but that guy, he shot her, and he was pretty much trailing them the whole time when he was at that tourist spot in Russia.
Oh shit! Damn.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And they tricked him because Nick Fury's like tracking Grell down with the two backpacks on, and he put like X's on the backpacks with his I think he has like some kind of sensor in his eye that puts like a tracking device on the objects or whatever. But they switched the backpacks with like decoys that's trying to throw them off, and that's how they got away and blew up the whole area. And I guess that's what.
Well, I know he was trying to convince Gail to get the bomb back, her brother.
Right. I guess that didn't fall through. And they got what they wanted. They killed that lady, which I guess that's going to do them through a loop on the next coming episode.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm a huge fan of Samuel Jackson. It just like every time I hear his voice, man, it just sounds like it doesn't like yo, this motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? Like he always sounds like he's frustrated.
Oh yeah, you can never see him outside of Samuel Jackson. Like, yeah, I don't know how the visual Nick Fury character is supposed to be, but you just see Samuel Jackson, not the actual character.
I mean, he does play a good Nick Fury. It's just, I don't know. It's just like every time he's like, what was the one scene that he was talking about? He's like, oh, the chair, the 14th century chair. He's like, oh, this chair. It's like the way that the way that he did it, man, was just like, it's so fucking funny. Yeah, man. I'm like I said, I'm personally excited to see like what is this series going to unfold for Marvel in general, and can we see like the Skrulls being really like a dangerous kind of enemy? You know what I mean? Like it's one of those like, can they really be worse than what we make them out to be? Like it's like
in charge of this organization of the Skrulls,
right. That's what I'm saying. Because at first I was like, I know they were in Eternals. I know they were in was it Captain Marvel? So the Skrulls have kind of periodically been there through Marvel. Not I wouldn't say not recently, because they've been around for a while now.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like now they're getting more of the spotlight now of what they can really do, I would say, because we knew that what they can do in those movies, but like they were kind of like the side people, you know what I mean? Like they weren't really given enough. It wasn't about them. Like I think Captain Marvel was somewhat about them, because I think like she was trying to save their people or something like that. I remember the first film.
Right. And Grell was actually, I'm reading on this now, Grell was actually in Captain Marvel movie too, but she was portrayed as a kid in that one, so that's interesting too. So she was
a kid. I can't remember that movie. It was like, what year Captain Marvel came out? What was that, like 2019? I was about to say 2018, around there, 19.
Yeah, 2019 says. Yeah,
Yeah, I can't remember that movie. She was the kid.
yeah. She was the daughter of some
Okay,
character.
so fast forward, they've been on. I'm guessing they've been on Earth this entire time. Then,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. So that must really tie in. So from after that point, after Captain Marvel, it goes into this.
Okay.
Yeah, at that point.
Yeah, but then where was Nick? Nick had to come down from, I don't know, right? Like he had to just come
snapped away from Thanos.
right. He just had came back then, right? Like,
yeah, yeah. So it must take place after all that happened. That's what it seems like. Maybe we see Captain Marvel in this at some point. Who knows? I know she's supposed to have a movie coming up too
this year. Yeah, I think it's at the end of the year. I think it's December. So, what is it? The Marvels, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which is, I think that was a comic book series as well too. When it's not just one; it's a bunch of them. It's like,
oh yeah, the Miss Marvel.
It's like the Green Lantern Corps from Marvel,
right? And I believe that lady from was WandaVision that's supposed to be in there too.
Agatha, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think that her series is dropping this year though.
Oh no, I'm saying like that character. She's supposed to be a part of the Marvels too.
Oh, okay, that'll be interesting. So will she be like in the Marvels or like as an antagonist?
I think in the Marvel, because they keep showing her as like in the poster. You know that lady that was going against WandaVision in that series.
Oh yeah.
You know, I wonder if that all ties into from what this series is talking about, because she's a big part of, like I was saying, that with the scrolls and everything.
So overall,
see.
So overall, I think this is a new journey. Not much to speak on it, of course. It just started. So definitely have, I would say, a medium expectation, not a super high expectation, but I think everyone's enjoying the new episode. I mean, like the new series itself for Marvel.
Yeah.
But good so far. Like the acting, the CGI is terrible. Like I said, I'm sorry that what made the CGI terrible is like, I remember the one scene. It was like the woods or some shit. It was just like, like I don't understand. Like it's like Disney. They make so much fucking money. I don't understand why they can never get the CGI like at least a little more better looking. Like
right.
I'm not
been on that for recently too, like in the She-Hulk and Thor.
She-Hulk was terrible. That was like wearing a fucking mascot costume. Like I don't know, man. That shit. I'd rather you had wear a mascot costume, because it was just like the CGI was just like cheesy, man. Like I feel like Who Framed Roger Rabbit had better fucking, and that was a different animation style, but like I don't know, like CGI in general was just bad, man.
Yeah, even like the way the scrolls shapeshifted. Like I seen better shapeshifting in the old X-Men movies when Mystique used to shapeshift different characters.
Oh
like,
shit! I love the transition when she would like go to different skins. It would be like it would look really good. It would actually look really good. But that's what happens when it's not even about when Disney had took over. It's about, I think, I'm not sure how movies are being made nowadays, but I just think like if you're spending enough time on what you're doing and actually saying I want this shit to come out good, I think those things, I think they can go back to doing those things. I don't know. It just doesn't feel exactly like that, like back in the times, because during those times, I feel like movies, they actually took time to make. Nowadays, everything is just kind of like slap this right here. There's that. And then, you know what I mean? Like,
it's like it's still movies like that. Like for example, like Avatar did a good job with their special effects.
Oh, of course, that motherfucker spent like $1 billion. He was like, I don't even care if Disney is like, he obviously he did, because like Disney probably funded a whole bunch of that shit. But like his mind was like, I'm going all hands on deck, because like he had the funds for it. Like,
the first one he made,
I mean, the thing is, the man said his expectations way too fucking high. but because he thought he was gonna, he didn't win no Oscar on that. I guess he was mad about that. But hey, look, you got other awards, right? You gotta be happy for that, I guess.
Oh yeah, but yeah, it's like I don't know what's going on with the trend of Marvel dropping the ball as far as special effects. Like they got the money. It's just
it's just they don't take time.
You know.
Like,
oh yeah, and I wanted to talk about that too. I'm going to say this in the beginning of the intro. Like, even I remember Pascal said he called it. He said they're going to start using AI in Disney soon. And you can see, like in the intro, they just got lazy and they just used AI generated animation instead of hiring an actual animator to do it. I'm like, oh, here we go. They're going to start using AI now. Like, oh man.
Yeah, in a way. Yeah, I mean, they're already finding its way into games and other industries already. So, I mean, it's about time that it's only a matter of time when we actually are going to start AI and like fucking, actors.
Yeah, they're going to start replacing actors now, swapping their deep faking their
just putting their different voices on their faces.
Yeah. I mean, they already kind of started doing that with Princess Leia and Star Wars. Like after she passed away, they made a CGI version of her. And
terrible. I'm sorry, you can never replace the original.
Yeah,
you're out of your mind. That's just my personal opinion. I just think like if something is gone, if somebody passed away, like the role has to go with them because it's their role. Like.
Yeah,
I don't know, but
excuse me, Disney.
But overall, let's see where it goes. Anything else, Don?
Oh no, that's about it. Looking forward to seeing the journey we're going on with Nick Fury and see what he unveils with the Skrulls.
Yeah, guys, we'll be going over the series together. We haven't done a series in a while, so definitely we're excited to go over this one with you guys. So. Definitely like, subscribe, and follow us on all platforms. We appreciate all the love and support. Catch you on the next one. Peace.